It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, elementary school edition, 2 great teams. Let's meet them now. First from Cora Rice Elementary, would you please say hello to Diamond Benson, Deontay Cook, and Ijon Collins. And from Mattaponi Elementary School, here they are, our contestants for today, Taylor Martin, Zachary Pounds, and Jeremy Carrington. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, and the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, our winning school will come back to play Greenbelt for the chance to move on to this year's semifinals in the elementary competition. Let's go over and make sure everything is working properly. Deontay, would you try your buzzer there on the red team? All right, good luck to you, to Ijon, and to Diamond. You look good in your matching blue shirts there today. And over at Mattaponi, Zach, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Taylor, and to Jeremy. Are we ready to play this game?
Yes.
Very good. All right, let's put on your thinking caps. Congratulate yourselves for being good ambassadors for your school. We're very proud of you already, no matter what happens today. We go alphabetically C before M, so Cora Rice, let's start the game. Deontay, give me a category and a number, please.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points to start out our game today. Teams, even if you cut down a tree, if the roots still contain enough of this stored carbohydrate, new shoots will still come up. All right, Cora Rice for 15 points. Can you get these points? Yes, sir.
Nutrients?
Not nutrients. No, you need to be more specific than that. Mattaponi, what kind of stored carbohydrate, if it's still in the roots of a tree that's been cut down, will be the cause for shoots coming up?
Sugar?
Not sugar, starch. Starch is the stored carbohydrate, the stored form of sugar. Try again, please. Let's see. Cora Rice. Cora Rice. Watch the light, please, here on my board. Thank you. Cora Rice, please.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, listen very carefully to the clue. In the story of Peter Pan, what prosthetic did the villain famously wear? All right, Cora Rice, they're thinking Peter Pan now. Cora Rice.
He wore a hook?
He wore a hook. He was Captain Hook, absolutely right. And he kept hearing that crocodile with the alarm clock inside of him. Thank you, Diamond, for your help there. Okay, Red, Deontay, you pick.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, Orion the Hunter in the night sky is part of a large group of stars that is known as a what? Is known as a what? Please wait until we recognize you. Mattaponi, Zach.
Constellation?
Yes, sir. That's the correct answer. Good. We award you those points, and we offer you the chance to pick the next question.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, Rudyard Kipling wrote a famous children's book about an animal, and it was called Why This Feline Got Its Spots. What animal was he talking about that got its spots? Deontay.
A leopard?
A leopard, absolutely right. Thank you, Ijon, for your help there. Why the leopard got his spots. All right, score 75-65. 10-point advantage for Cora Rice. Go, Deontay.
Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri for 15 points. Teams what large, nasty carnivore that's related to a weasel and lives in North America has the same name as the Hugh Jackman character in the X-Men movies with the long claws? Mattaponi.
Wolverine.
Wolverine, yes, good, go.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline Science for 10 points. Teams, which of the four subjects in STEM education, is best exemplified by the new bridge they built over the Colorado River near the Hoover Dam? What part of STEM was best used to make that bridge? All right, come on, Deontay. The S, the T, the E, or the M?
What?
Who's going to answer here?
I'm passing it to Diamond.
Diamond, yes, ma'am.
The S?
Not the S. No, not the S. Of the four subjects in STEM education, which one is best exemplified by the new bridge that was built over the Colorado River near the Hoover Dam?
T?
No, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. Engineering is what we were looking for. Try again, green. Yes, sir.
Green things for 25 points, please.
Okay, let's make sure that the captain gives that information, okay? Again, what is it now?
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25. All right, the big one in that category. Teams, what part of a cactus plant is especially wide because it's the only place on that plant where photosynthesis can take place? No one's ringing in? Correct answer was the stem. The same as what we said before. Because it's got needles, they're too small, there are no leaves, there's no surface for photosynthesis. So the big cactus, that's the stem, the green area where photosynthesis, food making takes place. Try again, green. Zachary.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, look at the monitor in the studio, please, for this question. Teams, recently those miners in Chile were brought up after being underground for months. The capsule that brought them... Yes, Zachary?
Phoenix.
The Phoenix. The name of the capsule was the Phoenix, and that is a phoenix, a bird that, according to myth, arose from its own ashes. The buzzer is rung. First round is over. Good match. Mattaponi 95, Cora Rice 75. We'll be back with round two. Just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you with us today. Hope you're enjoying these 6 young people as much as we are here in the studio. All great players, as I said at the top of the show, they've already won because their schools have picked them to be representatives, and you are all good ambassadors. You look good and you sound good. We love having you with us. Cora Rice, tell us a little bit about yourself. Cora Rice, I think this may be your very first appearance ever on Science Bowl. We're so happy to have you here. Deontay, tell us about your school. You're partnered with G. James Golson Middle School, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, and you're very close to our studios here in Landover. You're up near FedEx Field. Who's your principal?
Mrs. Turman, Maddie Turman.
All right, she's out there rooting for you. And your sponsor is? Your coach, your teacher coach.
Oh, Mr. Baker.
Mr. Baker, Mr. Clark Baker, who joined us as a judge a few weeks ago, and now he's here. I know he worked hard to get you guys ready. How'd they make you the captain?
Because we was at practice, and then that's when I was like answering all the questions real good. So then that's when they just chose me to be the captain.
That's a good way to do it. You got a good smile and you got confidence. That's really important, Deontay. What do you want to do when you get older?
Be in the NBA.
Be in the NBA. And you told me that you could play on what NFL team?
Redskins.
Redskins. Yeah, you can see the Redskins from Cora Rice. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Alternates, yes. Jaden Johnson and
Janelle.
Yeah, and Janelle.
Good. We'll bring them out with Mr. Baker in just a few minutes. Deontay, just relax. Enjoy the rest of the game. Hi, John. Nice to have you here. You've come up with a couple good answers. How do you know so much about science?
I watch the news a lot, and we practice.
And it shows. You know, practice is so important whatever you do in life, and you're aware of what's going on around you, and we're trying to tie things in the real world with science, and you're doing a good job of matching those things up. What do you see yourself doing someday?
I'll be a soccer player, or my backup is an engineer.
An engineer. All right. Well, that's good to have because you can't play soccer your whole life, so you have to have a fallback. You've got a good head on your shoulders there, young man. Diamond, nice to have you here. This young lady, she's got a number of things she wants to do. Lawyer, artist, chef. What am I missing?
Singer.
Singer, that's right. Now, you sing already, don't you? Yes, and who do you sing for?
I don't sing for anybody, but because I'm kind of shy, but I'm trying to get over it.
You know, shyness is something, you know, we're all shy in certain situations. And I think it helps you perform a little bit better if you have some shyness, so you can overcome that. And thanks for your honesty. You've got a nice future ahead of you. Tell us the things you like to cook.
I like to cook spaghetti, chicken, steak, and lasagna. Those are my favorite things to cook.
We'll be over for dinner, Diamond. Sounds really good. Really good. Nice to have you here today. Let's go over to the Mattaponi team, and we have one returning player today, and he would be our captain, Zachary Pounds. Zach, what grade are you now?
I'm in sixth grade.
Sixth grade. And you were in fifth grade last year with Mattaponi, and you have a nice way to play. How do you know so much about science?
I think it's the great teachers we have.
What a nice thing to say. What a nice, those teachers that are just puffing out their chests now after you said that, because that makes it all worthwhile. Tell me who your principal is, Zach.
Janice Hay, or as we call her, Dr. Hay.
Dr. Hay, and she's here today. We'll bring her out in just a few moments. And the sponsor of your team is Miss Madison.
Yes.
And she is here. She's been involved in our show for so many years. We thank her for all of her hard work. We'll bring her out as well. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we had Jaron Lebequin, Michael Forrest, and Babatunde.
Wonderful. Thanks for remembering their names and for mentioning them. And Zach, what do you see yourself doing someday?
I want to be an architect, and as my backup plan, I want to be a TV show host.
Wow. All right. You can take my job here, right? You'd be good at it. Jeremy, nice to have you here. Young man who's interested in being a newspaper reporter. How'd you get interested in that? You must be a good writer.
Yes, and I like reading newspapers.
Yeah. And, you know, boy, some of those articles, they move you. You know, they have a nice persuasive way about them. They tell a story. And so if you're a good storyteller, you've chosen the right profession. What do you do in your spare time?
I go outside, play football, and watch a little TV.
Very good. All right. You're a good player, Jeremy. Taylor, nice to have you here. Tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I either want to be a fashion designer or a teacher.
Our teacher, what would you teach?
I want to teach high school.
High school. Wonderful. And what subject would you teach?
AP Honors.
Oh, boy, you've got it all mapped out, don't you? And you told me you also like to draw clothes, don't you? So you could actually work for a fashion magazine. You're already a fashionable young lady. Nice to have you on our program here. And you're playing a good game. Let's get back to it. Close game. 95 Mattaponi, 75 Cora Rice. Last correct answer came from the green team, so lots of points to give away. Zachary, start us out.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, the famed African-American inventor Garrett Morgan, there's a boulevard named for him just close by here, invented a gas mask for soldiers in World War II to protect them from this deadly gas, which ironically is used to disinfect swimming pools. Cora Rice.
Chlorine.
Chlorine, absolutely right. Long question, simple answer. Go red. And with that, look at that, we've got a tie score, 95 all. Deontay.
Zoo parade, 15.
Zoo parade, 15 points. Teams, if you visit a zoo or a game park, there's usually a spot set aside for young animals who have lost their parents. That part of the zoo or the game park is known as the what? What do you think, Mattaponi?
Orphanage?
An orphanage, absolutely right. The animal orphanage. Good answer. Go green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, there is a new novel out with a strange title. It picks up on the personal ads in the newspaper. The title of the book is called Squirrel Seeks Chipmunk. Well, they're different species, but they both belong to the same group of animals, the same order, known as the what? Squirrels and chipmunks. They're both what kinds of animals, Mattaponi?
Rodents?
They're rodents. They're in the order Rodentia. Absolutely right. Good. Go.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, if your science fair project involved red, white, and blue styrofoam balls, and some of them stood for neutrons, some protons, and some electrons, you've made yourself a model of a what? What is it, Deontay?
Atoms.
An atom, absolutely right. That's an atomic model. Good answer. All right, you're right back in it. Go red.
Okay. Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Today, there's a lot of concern for young boys who play football at high school level and college level, and even in the pros, because they are suffering what kinds of traumatic head injuries? Cora Rice.
Concussions.
Concussions, absolutely right. Good. All right, we've got a really close game again. 130 to 125. Deontay.
Dateline for science for 20.
Dateline Science for 20 points. Teams, young people who would like to be what kind of scientists went down to the Smithsonian recently for National Fossil Day. National Fossil Day, Mattaponi.
Archaeological?
Not archaeologists, no. Young people who want to be what kind of scientists recently went down to National Fossil Day at the Smithsonian.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Archaeologists.
No, you both were paleontologists. They were interested in being paleontologists. Good try. It was kind of one of those tip of the tongue things. Go red. Go ahead, Deontay. You choose again.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, the mass of branches and twigs and leaves at the top of a tree has what same name as a queen's tiara? Mattaponi.
Crown?
The crown, yes, the crown of the tree. Good, green. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna pass it to Jeremy.
Well, let him tell you what you want, what he wants.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Here's your question. Teams, an electrical appliance that is plugged into the wall and still takes juice, but the appliance is turned off, is known by what kind of V-initialed bloodsucker? Mattaponi.
Volt?
Not a volt, no. What kind of V-initialed bloodsucker is an appliance that keeps draining energy even though it's not turned on?
A vessel.
A vampire. A vampire. Go, green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25. The big one in that category, teams. The late New York Yankee slugger Mickey Mantle caused controversy at the end of his life because somehow he got to the top of the transplant list because he needed a new one of these, the largest of the body's internal organs. He needed a new what? Cora Rice.
Pair of lungs.
Not lungs, nope. The biggest internal body organ. Mickey Mantle needed a transplant. What did he need, Zach?
Heart?
A liver. He needed a liver. Go green. Zachary, please.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams. What M-initialed word describes the process of Emperor Cusco turning into a llama, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, or Cora Rice.
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, absolutely right. Or morphing, we would have taken either one. Yes, indeed. Go. 150 all. Tie.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, what P-initialed aspect of sound is illustrated by the Doppler effect when an ambulance gets louder and louder as it gets closer and closer to you and gets softer and softer as it goes away. What is the P-initial quality of sound that's affected? I'm seeing lots of shrugs. Pitch, pitch. Go red, go red.
Okay. Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points, teams. If you go to England and need to get a prescription filled at the drugstore, the person filling the prescription is called a chemist. In America, we call that same person a what? Mattaponi.
Pharmacist?
Pharmacist, yes, good, go.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Even if two men are not related and don't have the same RH factor or type, they can still be these kinds of brothers. What kinds of brothers? Mattaponi.
Half brothers?
Not half brothers. Remember the category body systems. If two men are not related, yes, blood brothers. That's what I want to hear. Good, go. Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points, teams. In the horror movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, people would go into the basement and they would see these kinds of seed containers that we associate with peas. Zachary.
Pods?
Pods. They would find pods in the basement that would grow into replicas of themselves, but they had no emotion. Green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points, teams. There are all kinds of strange ice creams today. You can get bacon ice cream or spaghetti ice cream. There's even an ice cream made out of the liquefied version of this gas that makes up 4/5 of the atmosphere. Deontay.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, liquid nitrogen ice cream. When you eat it, smoke comes out your nose. Go red.
Dayline science for 25.
Dayline for 25, the big one in that category. Teams, 2-part question. We will give you 25 points if you can either correctly and completely give us just one of them. Here's the question. Mae Jemison and Sally Ride are both in the history books, both because of firsts that they accomplished. Can you tell me what either of those ladies did that made them historically notable? Cora Rice, either one, and I need a complete answer.
Mae Jemison was put into the books and notified because she was the first black African-American woman to go into space as an
You got
astronaut.
it absolutely right. First African-American woman in space, Sally Ride, the first American woman in space. Go red. Nicely done, young man.
Okay.
Less than 2 minutes. 10-point lead. Cora Rice.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Physicist Isaac Newton, when he was speculating on what makes up things, he didn't say they were made of atoms or molecules. He said they're made of corpuscles. Corpuscles is what we associate today with what part of your body? Yes, Zachary.
Muscles?
Not muscles, no. Corpuscles in a human body. What are they, Cora Rice?
Blood.
Blood, yes, they're part of the blood. They're red blood corpuscles and white blood corpuscles. Yes, sir, go red.
Okay. Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. And you will see the flag of Canada. I'll give you 5 points if you can name the kind of tree that leaf comes from, Deontay.
Maple.
Maple, yes, the maple leaf on the Canadian flag. Where next? Red.
Okay. Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, Walt Disney called this animal Flower in Bambi, but Warner Brothers got it better when they called it Pepe Le Pew. What mammal are we talking about? Deontay.
Skunk.
A skunk, that's right, absolutely. And the buzzer has rung. Our game is over, and they came from behind. Cora Rice has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back. What an exciting game. I hope you were able to keep up with these young people at home because, boy, they were quick. Our final tally today is Mattaponi 180, Cora Rice 225. Congratulations to the team in blue, Diamond and Deontay and Ijon. What a super job you guys did. You really came back. You were way down there in the score. And also, look at the alternates over here, Janelle and Jaden and Mr. Baker. I know how proud you are of this team. We'll see you in the next round against Greenbelt. Let's see some smiles over here, Mattaponi. Taylor and Zach and Jeremy, you played a wonderful game. Miss Madison, Dr. A, and look at these alternates. They're smiling so broad you'd think they had won this game, and they did in a sense. BJ and Jeran and Michael, congratulations. You guys played a super game, and thank you for watching. Loved having you with us today. We'll see you next time on Science Bowl. Bye-bye.